Hey everyone, it's Dozer. Today we are going to be doing Linux or Linux for beginners. So we're going to cover these following topics, which can be system information, hardware information, performance, monitoring and statistics, user information and management, file and directory commands, process management, networking, archives, and disk usage. I'm going to go through some of the most useful commands. I'll tell you myself, just so you don't think I've got, super memory of any sort. I don't. I've got a piece of paper to the side of me, which I've got the commands on here, which I actually wrote out earlier. Um, you're not going to remember every single one. If you do, fantastic. But it's quite normal not to remember all of them, right? So if you can't, that's fine. But, the more you use them, the more you'll get used to. Just like anything, right? Okie dokie, let's get started. Let me get rid of this calculator. I don't think I need that. Okie dokie. So we're going to start with system information here, right? And the first thing we're going to look at is display the system information. And to do that, we use uname. Oh, God, if I could spell it right, it'd be all right, wouldn't it? -a, right? And that should give us, and there we go. It's displayed the system information for us, right? Let's move on. To display the kernel release information, we use uname again, but this time it's -r. Well, there we go. Move on to show how long the system has been running. And for that, we use the command uptime. And there we go, that's the information for that. To show the system host name, we type in simply host name. And there we go, it's Doziversity in this instance. To show the system reboot history, we use the command last reboot. And there we've got a chunk of information here which, well, shows the dates and everything of when it was rebooted. Right, let's clear all that and go back to the top again so it's nice and manageable. To show the current date and time, we just type in date. That shows today's date. To show this month's calendar, we just type in CAL or cal. And it's not installed, so I'll tell you what, let's just go ahead and install it. And let's see what information we get from here. Looks like it's taking his sweet time, but it's okay. That's clear. Let's see if that's, and there we go. So that's showing us the calendar for April because we're in April. To display who is online, we just type in W, and that shows us online, which is me at the moment. And to show who you are logged in as, we use the command who am I, and it tells you who you are. I'm gonna get a sip of water because my throat's starting to dry up a little bit. Right, let's clear that and let's move on to the second thing, which is hardware information. And again, we're gonna, to display the CPU information, we just cat proc CPU info, and there we go. We have all the information that we need. It's actually quite useful, this. Next, let's clear that screen. To display the memory information, we do cat proc mem info. And there we have the information for memory. So let me move on to the next topic. So to display the free and used memory, we're going to type in free, but we're going to do -h, which the -h stands for human readable. And there we go. To display the USB devices, I think it's lsusb.tv, is it? Yep, there we go, we have that information. To show, I think it is, no, it's not, it's, yeah, to show information about the disk SDA. I'm sure it is, if this works. I'm not sure because I've not tried it on this one before, so let's see. Oh, permission denied. Interesting. Let's try another way. Oh, there we go. It's a nice failed to get the identity. Invalid argument. Well, okay. That's it for that. So move on to the third section now, which is performance monitoring and statistics. So to display and manage the top processes, we just type in top, and there we have it. Let's escape to get out of there, I think it is. Let's Control C, clear that. To view the process as an interactive viewer, as an alternative to top is htop, and it's not installed, so I'm going to install it so at least you can see what it looks like. So let's try again, htop, and there we go. It's a better, well, it's a bit more colourful, isn't it? Let's clear that. To display processor-related statistics, it's mpstat. I think it's, is it 1? No, it's mpstat, not start. Yeah, so it's mpstat 1, and we can cancel that. To display virtual memory statistics is vmstat 1. Get rid of that. To display input-output statistics is iostat 1. Yep, that's done nicely. Let's see what else we need to cover in this. Well, to capture and display all the packets on an interface, etho, we type in Tcp Dump. I will do a whole topic on this anyway, with sniffing and using tools like Wireshark and Tcp Dump. You don't have permission, obviously not, so I'll just type it in like this. Oh, and there you go, it's listening to it. It's going to capture all the traffic, so I can cancel that. List the files that have been opened by the user. We use lsof -u, and we just type in the user. In this case, it's Doozy, and it's given all that information to us. Right, let's clear that. I think, okay, so the last one is list all the open files on the system, which is lsof, and that's quite a long list. Can clear that. Let's move on to now user information and management. Okay, so to display the user and group IDs of the current user, we just type in ID, and you can see it here. To display the last user's information who's logged into the system, we just type in last, and again, that'll, as you can see just here, it'll be Kali, it'll be reboot, because it was rebooted. To show who is logged into the system, we just type in who. To see who's logged in and what they are doing, we use W. So it gives a bit more verbose. To add a group, it's straightforward. So say if we want to add a group called, I don't know, nav, right? We just type in group add nav. Permission dice, right? Sudo, let's try again. Group add nav. On that side of the group nav. I think if we type in groups, oh, okay, that's only showing the other one, isn't it? To create an account named nav with the comment of the full name nav, can we, and create the user's home directory, we can use the following command, which let me clear that first. It's user add. I'm going to have to use sudo here because it's not privileged. We'll type in nav -kang -m nav. And there we go. We've created that now, and we can, if we want to delete that same user, we just type in user del nav. I'm going to have to sudo again, yeah, every time I keep forgetting that. And that's deleted the user. And then we can also add, as we created a group earlier, I think it was by the name Doozy, I think it was, so we can add nav to that group if we wanted to, which is as simple as doing, I know we've deleted it here, is user mod -a capital G, the group of the name, which would be Doozy, and nav is the name of the user, and that means nav will be added to the group called Doozy, right? Okie dokie. Let's move on to file and directory commands. To list all the files in a long listing is ls al, and we've got everything there. Let's clear that. To display the present working directory is pwd, which is showing us that. To create a directory, it is mkdir, and we'll create a directory called nav doozy, right? And if we want to cd into that, or if we want to go into the change the directory into nav doozy, just do cd nav. We can just do tab, it'll take us down there. And if we wanted to create a file in here, so we can just do touch nav.txt. If we do ls, it's showing nav.txt. Now, if we want to remove that, all we do is rm nav.txt, and if we do ls again, it's no longer there. To remove a directory and its contents recursively, so if you've got another directory in here, so let's create another directory in here called doozy2. And let's just say doozy2 has loads of files in there, right? We don't want to go individually and delete them because that's time consuming. We can force it to recursively delete everything, and to do something like that, always do is rm-r, the name of the directory, which in this instance is doozy2, and that will delete everything in that directory, right? To forcefully do it, it's actually rm rf and then the name of the directory. So if you get an error trying to do it this way, use rf, the name of the directory, and that will forcefully remove it and recursively as well, right? Right, let's go back. Let's touch nav. Let's create another file called nav. Ls clear that. What we're going to do is we're going to copy nav.txt into doozy.txt, right? And to do that, we just use the command cp. We put the name of the file that we've already got in the system and the file that we want to create, which we're going to create doozy.txt. Right, now if we do ls, we've got both files, and both of these will contain the same information because you copied nav into doozy, right? We can also move a file, right? So let's create a directory called doozy2 again. Let's move doozy.txt. Doozy text into doozy2, and now we go to cd doozy, and there's doozy.txt. Okie dokie, let's move on. To create a file, as I've already said, we just use touch and call it whatever file you want to. And earlier we've created, so let's do touch doozy3.txt. If we do ls, we've got doozy_3, right? Let's put some information into doozy.txt. Hello, my name is, if I could spell, doozy. So let's save that file. Let's get rid of it. To view the contents of a file, we just type in cat and the name of the file that we want to view, and it displays it on screen. It prints the contents on screen. Right. If you have a file which has loads and loads of information in there, right, we want to use the command less and then the file name, and it'll only show the very minimum. Not every time I get stuck on this. Brilliant. Okay, dokie. To display the first 10 lines of a file, we type in head and then the file name. It'll give us the first 10. In this instance, doozy is just very small, so it's not going to give us, you know, everything that we want in there. So if I change the directory to doozy, oh, that's the wrong one. cd nav doozy, cd doozy 2, and if we do head doozy.txt, and there's only one line in there, but it will show the top 10 lines. And likewise, if you want to see only the last 10 lines of a file, you type in tail and the file name, and it'll display the last 10 lines. Right, okay. You can actually also, I'm very sure, if we go to man head, we can declare, we can. So we can set the number of lines, because default is 10, we can actually set the number of lines ourselves. So if we wanted to just do head -10, say we want to see the first 50 lines of doozy, it's as simple as this. And I'm sure the same is applicable for, so if we do man tail, yeah, same is applicable for tail as well. Really, really useful if you do want to get information on how to use a particular tool, or how to use, or get further information on some of these commands that we're running. It is simple as just type in man, and then just type for example cat, man cat, and it'll give further information on how to use that particular command with flags that, extra flags that you can set how you want to show the information that you want displayed. Right, okay, let's move on now to process management. Right, the process, so to display your currently running processes is PS. To display all the currently running processes on this particular system is PS-EF, which you can see there is quite big. Just clear that. To display process information for a specific process, what you do is you do PS-EF, and then you grep that information. So you just do grep, and we can just type in the process name. So let's get a process name. This is copy splash, for argument's sake. Clear PS-EF. We've got to use that grep splash, and there we go. It's giving us that for whatever we've searched for. It's grepping that information out of the processes. So instead of seeing a huge list, you're only getting what you need, right? To kill a process with the process ID it's kill and then the PID number, which is going to be one of these. So if we go back now to PS.EF, we'll scroll to the top, and there's the PID, right? So if you want to kill a process, say you want to kill, I don't know, you want to kill 1400, right? You just type in kill 1400. I'm not going to do this because I'm not sure what 1400 is doing, and the last thing I want to do is have to reset my system. And to kill kill all the processes with a specific name, all you do is you just type in kill all and the process name. So we can just type in splash, right? One thing that's really useful is to start a program in the background, right? Actually, quite a useful command this will be. So I'll give you an example. Let's just say we're going to launch gedit, right? We launch gedit, and we can't do anything here in the background with this shell, right? Whereas if we get that back running again, if we do gedit with an ampersand, not only have we got gedit process here open, but we've also, this is also accessible in the background as well. Really, really good one to know. It's one that I actually swear by, and it will come in extremely useful, right? So, okay, moving on. To display the stopped or the background jobs, it's BG, right? And there's nothing in the background. And to bring the most recent background jobs to the foreground is FG. And there's obviously nothing here to show. And then you can actually even bring forward using the name. So I think it's FG, and then you use the name. So let's just say splash for argument's sake. I think that about covers that. Let's move on to networking, right? So for networking, so to display all the network interfaces and IP addresses is ifconfig. I think it's -A. Yes, it is. Okay, that's a nice bit of information. To display etho address and all the details connected to etho is ifconfig or ifconfig, however you want to say it. And we've got the information there for that particular connection. To send an Icmp echo request is ping, and just type in the IP or the host name. So in this instance, we wanted to ping Google, which I don't suggest you do. Just like that. To display the whois information for a domain, it's whois and then the name of the domain. So we can just do whoisgoogle.com here. Let's see what happens. Oh, lucky that didn't show anything, did it? Oh, okay, so I know why. It doesn't need the www dot. And there we go. We've got all the information for Google, so you don't need to put the www dot there. A host of information there. If you want to display the DNS information for a domain, it's dig and then the name of the IP or the host name or the URL. Let's see if we can find one for here. And yeah, there's one there for that. Perfect. We can do a reverse lookup of an IP address, which is dig-x and then the IP address. If we type in the IP address, it'll do a reverse. It'll find the name for that particular one. So I think it's for Google. Let's see what it is. Ping www. I'm sure it's 10.10.10. In fact, I probably better not do that. Display the DNS information for each domain. So you just type in host and then the domain. So I'm just going to do it on github.io. Oh, it's not found. Maybe because it's not. This is part of GitHub and it's not set up properly. Let's see if it'll do it for GitHub. I wonder. Yeah. So these are all the addresses. Right. Brilliant. To display the network address of the host name, we just type in host name. I think it's -I. Yes, it is. Nice, clear that. So display all the local IP addresses. Oh, sorry, no, that actually displays all the local IP addresses. To display the network address of the host name, it's a small I, not a capital I. Yep, which is obviously going to be the home address in this instance. To download a file from a specific website, and I've gone through this again. I've got, we talked about wget when we're using wget to download linp, so we can take advantage of it. We just use wget, and we can also use curl as well. So it's wget, and we just type in the website, and we just use github.io/doozy, and it'll download the file that you need, right? To display all the listening TCP and UDP ports and to the corresponding programs that are running, we type in netstat -nutlp, I think it is. I wonder if I need to be root. Yes, I do. Usually that's not showing, but that's the command for it. Now let's see what else we've got. I think we're going to move on to the next topic. Archives. Actually really useful to have. So to create a tar named doozy.tar containing a directory that we've got, right? So let's just, for this one, we'll create it for this one, right? What we type in is tar cf doozy.tar and the name of the directory, which is nav doozy. Cannot find. There we go. I'm not sure why it's given the error message. Oh, maybe because I was already in the directory, that's why. It's probably not allowed to do it like that. Let's try again. Let me get outside the directory. Tar, yeah, I was trying to see archive with it in the directory. My fault. We'll try again. Doozy.tar nav doozy. Yeah, that seems to have done it now. There we go. Perfect. My mistake. Sorry about that, guys. I've not used it for a bit of time. So to extract the same contents, now we just do tar xf and the name, which I think, what did I call it? I called it doozy.tar. If we do ls, it will extract nav doozy. And as you can see there. Let's see what else we've got. So we can create a Gzip compressed tar file, right? And to do that is tar czf, the name, so we'll call it nav doozy again. Dot tar dot, I think it's gz or gz, and then the name of the directory in this instance. So that will, this will be a Gzip compressed, and to extract this we use the command, I think it's tar xzf, yes, and the name of it, which we've, in this instance, let's pretend we did call it .tar.gz, so we use that command. I think that covers it for that topic. Yes, I think it does. Okay, we're going to go on to the last topic, which is disk usage. So to show the free and used space on a mounted file system is df-h. The -h is, again, so it's human readable. To show the free and user nodes on a mounted file system is df-i. To display the disk partition, the sizes and the types, we use fdisk-l. Permission denied. Let's try again. fdisk-l, and that gives us all the information we need there. Let's clear that. To display disk usage for all files and directories in a human readable format is du-ah, and that is quite a long output. Clear that. And to display the total usage of the current directories, du-sh, which that's for the current working directory. I think that about covers everything today. This is just, like I said, it's just for the for beginners to this, just to get some practice in. Don't try and remember these, right? The more you mess around, the more you play about with it, you know, the more you're going to get used to the commands, right? Some of these I don't remember. I'll be honest with you, I've been using now Linux. I say it both ways, I'll be honest with you. For several years now, and I don't remember all of these. I still got to go to Google, right? And like I said, you just want to get used to doing as much as you can. The most common ones you're always going to use is going to be creating a file, creating directories, you know, moving between the directories. They're the really, really important ones. And obviously, I'm not taking away the other ones are not important. Of course they are, but it's what you're going to use the most, you know. So I really hope you guys have found this useful. Sorry if it does seem a bit quick. It's not intended. It's simply just a case of, you know, just getting through it and just to show the commands, you know, just as quick as, well, I won't say as quick as possible, but just so it's there. So somebody, if you know, if you're going through the video, you can pause it and you can run it from there. If you guys do want to check out any cheat sheets, check out navkang.github.io/doozy with a capital D. And thank you very much for your time. Sorry about my dodgy voice. Still a bit hit and miss. Keep getting dehydrated. Had a bit of a cold. That's why I've not actually made any tutorials or videos for the past 2 weeks. Yeah, but slowly getting there. Thank you very much for your time, guys.